現場咧係直播，咁因為咧就 Zoom 啦話，因為有限制，只係得300人咁樣，咁所以我哋會錄影咧係今次嗰個咧係家長會咁樣。
Okay, Jason, great question, and again, we'll get to that question also as soon as we start. Yeah, Ms. Samperan's here, so I'm gonna make her a co-host. Thank you.
我哋嘅副校長亦都喺度，咁所以我哋副校長都會主持今次嘅家長會。
Yeah. Ms. Samperan is actually in Thailand. And so we are, PS 130 is a 24/7 operation. So when we're sleeping, she's awake. When she's awake, we're sleeping. So yeah, we're here for you 24/7 now, okay?
OK，Miss Saffron 咧，其實而家喺泰國，咁所以咧，基本上咧，130咧變成咧就係有24小時，一個禮拜7日，因為我哋瞓覺嗰時候咧，Miss Saffron 咧就喺泰國可以咧係繼續做嘢咁樣。
Okay. And we'll start at 7:30. So 2 more minutes. If you need to go to the bathroom or anything you need to do, I'd like to start on time as much as possible to, respect your time. So thank you again for coming in.
OK， 我哋再2分鐘咧，我哋會準時開始。
Okay, Ms. Thomas is here also. She is in New Jersey, I think. So Ms. Thomas is here, our other AP.
我哋另一個副校長 Miss Thomas 咧，而家亦都有參加呢個會議。Miss Thomas 應該係住喺New Jersey 新澤西州。
Okay, and I want to again thank Wendy. She is translating into Chinese. She's one of our social workers, and she's been a godsend all summer long, volunteering her time to help translate. So thank you, Wendy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to start our recording. All right, so if you want, you don't want to be seen on video or anything, I think YouTube only has the speakers, but when we do recording, you might be captured. So I'm going to click on record now. Okay.
OK， 咁而家我哋會開始錄影今次嘅家長會。如果你哋唔想被錄影到嘅話，你哋睇下點樣安排咁樣。
Yeah, but because this is also released live on YouTube, I just learned how to do this yesterday. It's also going to be right after it ends. It's actually, I gave you the link on CareMonkey or Opera, and so the recording is available right away if you need to check anything. All right.
OK， 咁有個好處咧，就係話咧，因為係即場轉播，同埋咧可以即場錄影嘅，咁所以完咗之後咧，校長會俾個 link 俾大家，咁大家可以入嗰條 link 嗰度咧，又可以睇翻今次開會個情況。
All right, so again, good evening, everyone. Welcome again to I think this is our 6th information session. And again, just want to thank you for partnering with us in putting up with, all the constant updates and changes as we figure everything out as best as we can. But just thank you, parents, for, continuing to be patient and understanding and dealing with all the changes.
咁咧，校長好歡迎咧，大家嚟參加今次嘅家長會。咁今次係我哋第6次嘅開會噶啦。咁咧，我哋係好歡迎咧，同大家咧一齊合作。咁咧，其實係進行嘅情況。咁同埋亦都好感激大家咧，其實咧係繼續咧係容許我哋有不斷嘅更新啊，跟住嘅改變啊。咁同埋大校長都好咧，其實好感激大家咧，要好有耐性咧，係等待呢啲咁嘅消息。
Okay. And as always, I love to start with this. I just finished another meeting from 5:45 till 7:20. And this is something that just grounds me. And I just wanted to always go through the mood meter because this is what's trying to, keeping me centered. So again, red is a lot of us are in this a lot lately where you're angry, nervous, anxious, even our children. All right. So blue, again, sad or depressed. Green, think of the grass as calm, and yellow, joyful and or excited.
OK，咁咧校長咧好多時咧開會咧都好中意咧，其實咧係同大家睇下大家嗰個情緒嗰個咧係指南表，咁咧大家可以睇到咧紅色咧就表示咧係嬲啊，或者好焦慮；藍色咧就表示好失望啊，或者好沮喪；咁綠色咧就係好平和，黃色咧就表示好開心咁樣。
Yeah, and I keep preaching that if we live in the red and blue, this becomes very hard for our children too. Even me, getting nervous about a lot of activities. Tonight, lots of Zoom. My family's eating dinner behind me. It's been hard because I get so nervous and then I start yelling. So, being in these quadrants, I'm sorry to my family that, sometimes I get very anxious because I want things to go right with the technology. So yeah, I learned from this every day.
OK，咁校長話咧，其實咧可以即係大家都可能要喺紅色、藍色咧，其實好緊張或者焦慮。咁校長亦都最近咧，其實都即係好憂慮好多情況啊。咁啱啱時都開會，同埋校長嘅屋企人咧就喺後邊食緊飯，咁所以其實咧都好即係有啲不同嘅情況咁樣。
And so again, families, thank you so much. Without such a understanding and great family dynamic that we have at 130, where we have the best children because we have the best parents. So again, thanking you for partnering with us with this unprecedented year since March, but this year is even more unique because we're starting so many of us not even coming into the school building.
OK，咁咧校長咧，其實咧好感激咧，係大家咧，其實咧係一齊咧係參與，咁同埋因為咧其實個情況好特別嘅，咁但係校長好感激啦，我哋有最好嘅學生，亦都有最好嘅家長，咁同我哋一齊合作。而今年咧，其實一個係好特別嘅情況，因為咧好多咧學生咧，甚至一開始咧已經係選擇咧，其實係喺屋企上課。
Yeah, and it's been a very emotional, getting ready for the start of school year because we know that we're being asked to do the impossible. Not just the teachers that I see, who have come back since last week setting up the school, but for parents. Oh my goodness, what you have to go through in terms of, working, keeping your child safe at home, and all of these factors, I know is causing a lot of emotion in all of us.
OK，咁其實咧，今年咧其實真係一個咧好特別嘅情況咧，其實係好多係牽涉到好多嘅情緒。咁因為咧，其實咧教育局咧其實已經要求我哋咧，其實做好多咧，其實基本上好似唔可能嘅嘢。咁咧老師亦都做咗好多嘢啦。咁上個禮拜已經開始翻嚟學校準備。咁咧亦都好知道咧，我哋亦都同時咧好明白咧，其實我哋亦都要求家長咧係做到好多各方面嘅嘢啊，又要工作啊，又要 keep 你哋嘅細路仔安全啊咁樣。咁其實亦都好多因素影響住，咁所以今次咧，其實咧呢一個學年咧，基本上係牽涉到好多嘅情緒嘅。
Yeah. So again, thanking you for your support and understanding. As we're trying to be as transparent as we can, but the information also, as you know, if you watch the news, it keeps changing. So we're trying to be prepared for anything and everything.
咁咧好多謝校長，好多謝大家嘅支持同埋體諒。咁我哋校長亦都盡量係將咧所有嘢咧係透明化，係俾大家知道公開。咁但係問題咧，大家都知道咧，其實啲消息咧係不斷嘅改變啊咁樣。
Yeah, so as I said, as of this morning, we have about 760 students enrolled at PS 130. That number also keeps changing. But out of the 760, over 73% of our students are starting off the school year remote, which means, only less than 30% of our families are actually coming into the school building.
咁今個學年咧，全校咧，我哋有760個學生咧係登記。咁當然呢個數字會不斷改變。咁基本上全校咧，我哋有多個咧係73個百分比嘅學生係選擇喺屋企上課。咁即係話咧，我哋少過咧係30個百分比咧，其實翻嚟學校上課。
Yeah, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was about like the numbers keep changing because we're doing some shifting also. So I'm going to explain that. But cohort A has about 100 students. Cohort B has about 65 students, and cohort C has about 45 students.
OK，咁咧其實咧，呢個睇到咧，其實因為啲數字咧係不斷嘅轉變啊，咁有唔同嘅更改咁樣，咁基本上直至目前為止咧，我哋咧有 A 組咧有100個學生，B 組有65個學生，C 組咧有45個學生。
And again, thanking parents for your understanding, because in recent days, some of you have gotten phone calls, and you might still continue to get phone calls because of the shift from more students to remote. We've been able to consolidate some of the cohorts so that we had to close some cohorts, and then we opened some cohorts because of siblings. So we've been doing a lot of tweaking and things like that.
OK，咁我哋校長咧好感激大家嘅體諒，因為咧可能好多家長咧收到學校嘅電話或者有啲改變，咁事實上因為咧有啲越嚟越多學生係選擇咧係喺屋企上課，咁咧我因為咁嘅關係咧，我哋校長咧可以將啲嘢咧係簡化，之後將啲咧組別咧係重新咧再整合。
And yet some might be asking, well, Rennie or Mr. Fong, how come you are trying to put more kids into one cohort and closing other cohorts? So I'm going to explain that.
有好多家長問啊，點解Mr. Fong 點解你會將一啲細路仔擺埋一齊啊？咁咧就刪咗一啲嘅組別就咁樣。
Yeah, and from the family is one of the biggest concerns, and I heard that right away. And as a parent, I would feel the same way. Is that a lot of us wanted to have a guarantee of a teacher from PS 130, right? In the beginning, you heard that teachers might come from outside to come teach inside. And again, most of the parents they were willing to come in if they were guaranteed a PS 130 teacher, and I understood that.
OK，咁咧其實好多家長咧，其實有個問題咧，就係佢哋好希望咧啲老師咧係130嘅老師，因為咧我哋啱啱開始嘅時候聽到咧有啲講法咧，就話有啲外來嘅老師咧，其實咧係會教學生啊，教130嘅學生，咁大家校長都好明白啦，大家有咁嘅關心嘅問題。
And so with that, and knowing, parents would prefer to have one teacher, whether, in person or remote, you were asking the teachers, a very, very hard task where, they're servicing students remotely, but also, in school.
OK，咁咧明白啦，好多家長咧，其實希望咧，其實無論個細路仔喺屋企上課或者返學上課都好啦，都希望係同一個老師咁樣。咁咧，所以而家咧，其實咧校長其實都好感激呢啲老師，其實係做一啲好難嘅工作，因為咧佢哋咧就算係喺屋企嘅細路仔咧，都係同一個老師教。
And we know that remote teaching and learning was hard enough, right? From March to June, even for our parents, it was a lot. And so to ask teachers now to do remote and in person, it is very stressful. So just to, let everyone know, not to make excuses, but just to know, what we're operating under.
OK，咁咧，其實大家都知道咧，其實喺網上教學咧，其實學習咧，其實係一個好新嘅經驗，其實唔容易嘅。咁而家我哋要求我哋嘅老師咧，甚至係教屋企嘅細路仔啦，亦都係同埋喺學校嘅翻嚟嘅細路仔又教咧，同時教咧，咁其實係大家可以想象咧，係啲老師其實係壓力係比較大嘅，同埋亦都係唔容易嘅。
Yeah, and with almost 75%, it might be higher by tomorrow, but with almost 75, 3/4 of our school remote, we wanted to provide still a very strong learning experience for our children at home, as well as our students coming into school, that equity.
OK，咁咧大家可以想象得到咧，有3/4嘅學生咧，其實係選擇喺屋企上課嘅話，咁所以咧，其實校長係好希望咧，其實咧係提供咧喺屋企上課嘅學生咧，其實同樣一個好嘅課程，即係翻嚟上課嘅細路仔都同樣係有個好嘅課程。
Yeah, and so if you watch the news and you've heard the things, this is the thing where we're getting ready for anything. Like Monday, we are, aiming to open, we're ready to open. But, we have to watch the news, listen carefully, and, whatever comes, we'll do our best, working together.
OK，咁咧，但係我哋咧，其實而家估計咧就係禮拜一咧會開課啦、開學啦。咁但係校長係呼籲大家咧係留意啲新聞，睇下有冇任何嘅變動。但係無論有任何變動都好啦，我哋校長咧其實學校咧會盡量咧去做好，同大家咧其實一齊合作咁樣。
and scheduling becomes that much more impossible, right? Where we have I know our families because I know our children are great planners. And so, some of you might, again, be blended learning and you say, okay, I'm going to come in every Wednesday and alternating Mondays and Tuesdays. And you have that mindset. But then knowing that at any minute, depending, what's happening in the world, we could go remote at any time. I know that's really, really tough on parents and families and also the school.
OK， 咁咧其實咧校長都好明白咧，其實個時間個安排咧，其實真係嗰個時間安排真係好困難，同埋好似好唔可能咁。因為譬如你個細路仔知道如果係參與個混合模式嘅知道星期幾要翻學，咁但係可能咧隨時隨後咧亦都有機會咧直前咧係變晒所有喺屋企上課，咁所以其實呢個咧其實校長都好明白呢個係個好困難嘅情況。
Yeah, so communication is key, right? So we're really glad that we have the Care Monkey, which is now Aparu, so that we can keep sending you. And sorry, I know some of you are like, oh, Mr. He's sending so many messages, but because there's so many updates, we want everyone to be informed. So not only that, but the New York City schools account, and your teachers will go over that, is another thing. Like if the city has alerts, you want to make sure your New York City schools account is also active. And that's where you also can check the attendance, report card, and other student data.
咁咧校長話咧，其實咧溝通係一個好重要一個嘅情況嚟嘅。咁樣好在咧，我哋有個 Care Monkey 嗰個 account， 而家就變成 Opera 可以透過咧呢啲咁嘅account 咧，同大家係聯絡。咁好多家長話：哇，好多消息喎！咁但係實校長話係因為真係好多不斷更新嘅消息俾大家知道咁樣，同埋咧校長係呼籲大家咧記住咧，其實咧更正我個 New York City 嗰個 student account， 因為我個帳戶咧其實咧係會話俾大家聽一啲紐約市嘅教育嘅資料嘅消息咁樣。
Okay, so I just want to quickly go over, just what to expect in the next few days in terms of starting us off. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's the 16th, 17th, 18th, they are called orientation days.
OK， 咁我哋大校長而家話俾大家未來幾日咧會發生啲咩事啦。咁星期三、星期四、星期五，即係16號至18號咧，咁咧其實教育局嘅安排咧就叫做咧係迎新日。
And within the next few days, teachers will be contacting you, most likely initially through Aparu, to get you, onto, they might be doing a class dojo, which a lot of parents are familiar with, getting your children onto Google Classroom, which they started last year. And so, the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday starts for everybody, even the people who are coming in Monday. We start remotely, everybody together so that we can be one community.
OK， 咁咧星期三、星期四、五開始咧，就老師咧就會聯絡咧大家，咁係會透過 Opera 聯絡大家，亦都可能係 Class Dojo， 咁咧讓即係幫助啲學生知道咧佢點樣 sign up 呢個 Google Classroom。咁呢個時間表咧，其實咧係適合所有嘅學生，即係唔論你個細路仔係翻嚟上課好，或者屋企上課都好咧，都會有咁嘅情況。
So we wanted to start as if, starting school, getting children ready, their mindset, their bodies. So at 8:30, we'll premiere a video from the administration, just a welcome back video, get the children excited for school and, introduce everyone back. And so Wednesday will be that. And then teachers will be contacting you and you will have orientations with classes. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they will send you, the links and things. They might do Zoom chats. So teachers will be contacting you.
OK， 咁咧基本上咧，譬如星期三開始咧，我哋咧就係其實主要咧就係另外咧係幫咗細路仔咧準備好啦開課啦，呢個學年開始啦。咁8點半可能星期三8點半咧，我哋嘅校長會或者 administration 咧會歡迎大家嚟翻學啊，咁有啲咁嘅video 咁樣。咁然之後咧，老師咧就會同大家咧係聯絡，或者係 send 個 link 俾你，俾大家知道咧其實係有啲咩情況咁樣。
Yeah, so just, we'll go over routines starting the school day. Like from March to June, we were a little more relaxed in terms of, oh, yeah, you can wear your pajamas, whatever, as long as you get up and go on to the Google Meets or the Zoom. But, starting this year, because, we want to start and we want everyone to start strong. We want everyone to be mentally, physically ready for school. So getting up early, still getting changed. You want to get into those habits and routines, and the teachers will be going over those things so that children can be ready for school each and every day.
咁樣咧，其實咧，老師咧會同大家咧，實係講下咧，我日常嗰個咧就上課嗰個情況咁樣。咁3月嗰時候，可能大家會比較放鬆啊，或者咩？咁但係今學年咧，我哋希望咧，其實咧係一個好嘅開始，令到幫助啲細路仔咧，無論喺情緒上啊，喺身體上面咧，都準備好咧係開課咁樣。譬如早啲起身啊，然之後換衫啊，上堂啊咁樣。
Okay, so with that, I'll start answering questions, and as we, get to more things, I'll go over that too. In this morning's, we shared, different maps, and I'll go through that too. But let me first answer some of the questions. Okay, in terms of the precautions that the school is making, yeah, the classrooms will have no more than 12 students, unless it's a very big room, but usually no more than 12 students in a room. Most of them will be fewer than 12. And masks are mandatory. As long as you're in the school building, the mask must be worn unless you're eating. That's the only time you take it off. And right now, there are no dividers in the classroom. But the desks are all socially distant.
OK，咁咧基本上咧，校長咧會同大家咧講下，而家有個家長問咧，即係嗰個學校嘅安排係點樣？咁咧基本上學校話咧，校長話咧，其實喺每一個班房咧係唔會多過咧係12個細路仔。咁然之後咧係每一個人咧，每個學生都需要一定要係戴口罩除非食飯，除非食嘢嘅時候。咁咧基本上咧係班房唔會有啲分隔嘅設備，咁但係咧我哋會啲細路仔係會保持個咧係安全嘅距離。
And every night, they said there's a deep cleaning where they use the electrostatic sprayers and they spray every room so that it kills all the germs and disinfects the rooms. So that's another precaution. And during the day, the custodial staff will help wipe down the high impact areas like door handles and things like that to the best of their ability and the manpower.
OK，咁每一晚咧學校咧仲有一個咧係學校會做一個深度清潔嘅情況，係 spray 一啲嘢啊，去殺咗啲細菌啊、清潔啊咁樣。而日間咧個 custodian 我哋嘅學校啲清潔人員咧會盡量咧係將啲譬如比較多人接觸嘅地方啊，譬如啲門把啊啲咁地方咧係會清潔啊，會抹乾淨。
Okay. So another parent is asking, for about the technology. Some of you apply for devices, and from March to June, the DOE was pretty good in giving out iPads that were Wi-Fi enabled.
OK，咁基本上咧，咁校長咧就有個家長問一啲 technology 嘅問題，即係啲技術嗰個啲 iPad 嘅問題。咁基本上咧，就校長話咧，其實 DOE 咧喺3月到6月咧，佢就好好嘅，即係會有啲安排一啲嘅technology 啊，嗰啲咁嘅工具啊咁樣。
So unfortunately, the DOE is not giving out the devices centrally anymore, and they've put that back on the schools. So I want to let everyone know that.
OK， 咁而家咧，大家最近咧，而家會有改變。DOE 咧，教育局咧唔會再中央處理，唔會話咧中央處理係派呢啲咁嘅用device 啊啲咁嘅工具，會咧係個責任咧係交翻俾學校。
Yeah, so our resources, of course, are much more limited than the DOE. So what we're trying to do is if we have devices that are returned, most students are still using the ones that, we gave out all these devices from March to June. And so if we get any back and you let the school know that you have an extreme need for a device, we'll do our best, we'll make a wait list and contact families if we can get the technology to you. Okay, so we apologize for that.
OK， 咁咧但係咧學校嘅資源咧當然冇教育局咁多啦，咁所以咁基本上我哋有嗰啲 iPad 呢啲 device 咧，基本上咧都啲派晒出去俾學生噶啦，咁所以咧其實咧除非有學生退翻嚟嘅話，咁咧如果家啲家庭咧，如果你有好特別嘅需要、特殊嘅即係好緊張嘅需要嘅時候咧，同學校講，我哋會將你哋放喺嗰個後備名單啊、後補名單嗰度咧，如果有啲咁嘅 device。話咧，我哋可以聯絡大家。咁校長咧好抱歉有咁嘅情況。
All right, so I'm going to put down the office at DeSoto, make sure I spell it right, DeSoto130.org email, okay?
OK，咁而家校長咧係打出嚟呢個咧就網呢個咧 email 嗰個電子信箱係俾大家聯絡，俾校長知道咧，其實有關你哋個 device 啊、iPad 嗰啲情況。
And I also put my email again. It's been getting harder and harder to get back to everyone. But yeah, again, if there's definitely an emergency, a personal need, I will do my best to get back to you. So I put my school email also.
校長亦都將佢自己嗰個咧係電子信箱咧係嗰個地址咧，其實打出嚟。咁但係咧都但係都好抱歉咧，就係亦都未必咧係可以咧係即時啊，或者係每一個都覆翻。咁但係如果有好緊要嘅緊急嘅情況咧，咁校長會盡量咧盡量回覆。
Okay. Charlie's asking. I heard another school would pull remote teachers to substitute for an absent live teacher, causing the remote class to be totally asynchronous for the day. Yeah, so Charlie, there's so many different scenarios that we have not yet encountered, but I'm not sure how that would be because most of the remote teachers are remote as in their home. Some medical accommodations are remote at home. And so I don't know how they would pull a remote teacher to substitute for an absent live teacher. There are cases where the school, they have remote teachers in the school, and then maybe you're asking if they would pull those. But, like every situation, there's no guarantee or promise because what happens if a whole bunch of if there was a case and then, people are suddenly quarantined, yet you still have kids coming in. So these are all different scenarios that, every situation will have a different answer. So, thank you for that question, though.
有個家長問咧話，佢聽講話，好似有啲學校咧會將嗰啲喺屋企教書嘅老師咧，其實咧係要咧係抽離要佢哋教咧係職場嘅上返學嘅學生啊咁樣。咁校長話咧，其實咧而家好多不同嘅情況咧，其實會出現啊咁樣。到時會有情況出現嘅時候會再處理啊咁樣，即係唔知道會點樣，即係啲咩嘅情況會出現啊咁樣。
Okay. Someone asked about the 30-day supply of PPEs. We're still having some deliveries coming in to the schools, but a lot, gloves and masks and hand sanitizer and things have been coming in. So yeah, things are coming in. We don't have 100% of all materials, but they are coming in each and every day.
OK， 咁咧有個家長問，咁嗰啲清潔嘅用品啊，有冇準備30日即係提供啊咁樣？咁校長話咧，其實有不斷咁會送到嚟俾我哋寄嚟俾我哋學校。咁譬如啲抹手液啊、面罩啊、口罩啊咁嘅嘢。咁但係唔係100%，咁但係都逐步有寄俾你送嚟我哋學校。
And okay, so another question, someone's asking how many kids will be in per class, example, first grade, will there be some outdoor classes? So in terms of how many kids per class, that really is dependent on the class, because again, we've created the official classes and every day, the numbers have been changing, and therefore sometimes we're asking parents, do you mind switching cohorts, because that number keeps changing. So some classes have up to 10, 11 kids, and then others have 3, 4 kids. So every class is different, and that's why there's been shifting of the cohorts.
OK， 咁咧有個家長問咧就係會唔會1年班啊，或者會唔會有啲嘅outdoor 有啲室外嘅教學啊咁樣？咁係咪每一班有幾多學生？咁校長話咧，其實咧每一班學生咧好難講，因為咧而家啲數字咧不斷嘅改變，咁咧其實咧不斷有咧係更新嘅情況。譬如有啲班可能有啲組別可能10個、12個，有啲係3、4個咁，所以其實點解會繼續咧？其實有不斷嘅變動啊，將佢哋組合。
So you can definitely count on teachers contacting you, letting you know about the cohorts, if there's shifting of numbers, and if possibly sometimes cohorts might be closed to join another cohort. So you might be getting those messages. Okay.
OK， 咁啲老師一定咧聯絡大家，會話俾你聽，會唔會有啲咩嘅變動，或者可能有啲嘅組別會刪咗啊，會轉到去另一個組別啊咁樣，啲老師一定會聯絡大家。
In terms of outdoor classes, again, in terms of our school being safe, we can't have classes right outside because you know how busy Grand and Baxter and Hester are. So, some people, what about the roof? The roof we're trying to use for physical activity, or sometimes the students go up for a bit of a break. So there wouldn't be learning up there at the same time, because then, the noise and everything would distract the kids. So that I'm just being open and honest about outdoor learning. If there's any outdoor classes, it would probably be PE or kids just getting a break, especially pre-K, kindergarten, getting some physical activity on the roof.
OK， 咁至於話戶外教學啦，咁其實大家都知道咧，其實我哋出邊條街 Baxter 街、Hester 街其實好繁忙，咁其實唔係適合教學嘅。咁有啲家長話，咁或者天台咧咁樣，但係天台咧基本上係用嚟咧做呢啲體育活動啊，或者係俾一啲學生有個 break 啊咁樣。咁其實咧唔係好適合咧其實教學嘅。咁所以咧其實基本上咧就係會只係用嚟做體育啊，俾啲細路仔啊咁樣。
Okay, and someone asked about enrollment. This was maybe 7 years ago where we actually had over 1,000 students. That was my first year as a principal. We had over 1,000. Because of the demographics and gentrification in our area, it's been changing. So we've actually been losing students over the years. So this year, if we are at full enrollment, it would be 760 students.
OK， 咁咧有個家長問咧，就係學生嘅人數係點樣咁樣？咁校長話咧，其實7年前咧係啱啱校長正式上任嗰時候咧，其實我哋基本上咧有成1000個學生嘅，咁但係因為唐人街嘅地區嘅改變啊、人口嘅改變啊，所以我哋咧其實係損失緊學生。咁今年咧，如果今年咧係如果所有學生都到齊嘅話咧，我哋有760個學生。
Yeah, last year we were about 770. We graduated a big, actually 795, but we graduated a big class in terms of 5th grade. So the classes have been getting smaller. So it's not really the pandemic, whereas, some schools that has greatly affected their number of students. Ours has just been slowly going down.
咁咧，譬如舊年咧，我哋有795個學生，咁咧就有個好大一班好大班嘅5年級嘅學生咧係畢業。咁其實咧，我哋嗰個我哋唔係因為咧嗰個 pandemic， 唔係因為嗰個疫情嘅關係，只係咧我哋因為人口嘅改變咧，所以嗰個學生人數咧係慢慢減低。
Okay, and this whole asking of cohorts, why couldn't we change to Model A? And again, I want to explain that's because of staffing. See, because now if we have a teacher who has cohort A and they only have a cohort A, now on the B and C days, they can totally focus on the kids who are remote. So this is why we chose this kind of model, because again, that way our teachers can service our children to the best of their ability.
OK， 咁有個家長問咧，就係啲組別嘅安排嘅情況。咁咧就校長話咧，其實同呢個咧係教師嘅人手好有關係。因為譬如如果而家嘅情況咧，就譬如個老師咧話咧，其實除咗有一日係教 cohort A 組，咁但係咧跟住 A 組唔翻嚟嘅日子咧，其他日子咧個老師可以咧係專注咧係教 B 組加 C 組嘅學生咁樣。
So that's why you have group A is bigger than the others, because it's one, because of siblings, and two, because a lot of teachers are one cohort, not necessarily A. Some teachers, they have one cohort and it's B. Again, that was because of siblings and other factors, but that's why we have the cohorts the way they are. And so just wanted to give you the behind the scenes of what's going on with the different cohorts.
OK， 咁所以大家睇到咧，其實唔同嘅組別咧嚇，譬如 A 嘅組別咧，譬如可能大啲咁樣，咁咧就係但因為佢可能係包括咗啲兄弟姊妹喺埋一齊啊咁樣，咁其實未必一定係 A 係最大組，有時可能係 B 啊 C， 但係好多老師咧其實都係得一個組別咁樣。
Yeah, so to shift students from one cohort and another takes a lot. And you can, oh my goodness, Lindy, our business manager, and Marlene, they've been inputting, all this data, calling the parents, asking if they can change. And again, thanking you parents for understanding why it is like so many changes have been happening and might continue to happen because of the shifting. Because parents can go remote at any time and they can choose that, understandably. And so that's why you have this constant shifting.
OK，咁樣我哋好多謝咧，我哋個 business manager Lindy 啊，或者同我哋另外一個職員啊 Marine 咧，其實咧係花咗好多時間咧去做嗰啲資料，係整合啲資料。咁就校長好感激大家好明白嘅情況，就係話咧點解有咁多嘅改變咧？因為咧任何一個學生都可以隨時咧係選擇咧喺屋企上課嘅，咁所以咧啲數字咧係不斷轉變啊咁樣。咁未來日子當中咧亦都可能有繼續有不斷嘅改變嘅。
And so, yeah, Jennifer, we apologize where, there are some unique or rare instances where you have two children and they've been put in different cohorts. And the reason is because, again, how the classes shifted with the remote, I'm sorry, in terms of the cohorts and why like some teachers went down to one cohort, but the cohort wasn't the same letter. So yeah, really apologize for that. We did the best we can. We're still continuing to, but yeah, again, even with the current situation, if there's more shifting, these things are going to happen.
OK， 咁咧就有個家長問啦，點解會我兩個細路仔？點解兩個細路仔屬喺唔同嘅組別啊？咁咧就校長解釋咧，其實咧好抱歉，因為咧其實好多因為個數字不斷改變，有好多要不斷嘅更新啊，將啲組別咧係轉來轉去啊咁樣嚇。咁但校長係好抱歉，但喺未來情況，我哋預計咧都仍然有咁嘅情況會出現。
Yeah. And then, Kimberly, good question about the remote. Your teachers will be, giving you more of a remote schedule. When children come in, it's 8:30 to 2, right? But we can't expect children at home to be in front of the computer screen from 8:30 to 2. So they will be giving you, the times of when you can come in, when the children should be coming into a Zoom meeting, a Google Meets, when they should be submitting work maybe independently on the Google Classrooms. But these will be given to you orientations, from the individual classes and teachers.
咁有個家長咧問喺網絡上學習嘅情況時間表係點樣？咁老師校長話咧，其實咧我哋個老師會俾大家知道咧喺網絡喺屋企上課嘅時間表係點樣，因為咧其實如果你翻嚟上課就係8點半至2點，但係我哋好難咧係好難期望個細路仔坐喺個電腦面前咧係8點咁多個鐘頭，咁所以咧係到時話但老師會通知大家幾時個細路仔要上網啊，要上網學習啊，或者幾時個細路仔喺屋企咧係就做啲個別嘅功課啊咁樣。
And yeah, Maggie, this question about the iPad, I explained why that shifted. It shifted from the DOE to the schools, and that's why now, it's dependent on the schools to raise the money or to have the money to buy technology. And we're doing our best to get more technology. And we wish we had one device per, for each child, but that's simply not the case.
OK， 咁有家長咧繼續都係問個 iPad 嘅問題，咁咧校長解釋係因為咧就個情況就係教育局將個責任咧就俾咗個學校，咁咧其實咧就真係視乎個學校有幾多個資源，咁咧就係未必話可以咧係辦到咧每一個細路仔都有個 iPad 啊，咁但係我哋會盡量做咁樣。
And good question, Jennifer, about the links. As teachers are, getting their lists finalized, tomorrow they should be sending out links or information of, contacting you. Either some might be even calling families about, orientation and other things. So each child and class will be a little bit different.
OK， 咁有個家長問咧，就係我即係點樣上網啊？啲線係點樣啊？咁樣咁校長話咧，其實聽日咧啲老師應該會輪到大家俾啲細路仔俾家長知道，但係因為每一個老師嘅做法可能唔一樣啊，咁樣。
Yeah, so with the Google Classrooms for 1st to 5th grade, if you're not new, then the students have the same login. And again, if they forgot their logins, teachers will refresh them with that in the coming days. And then teachers will have new Google Classrooms, so they will be providing that also. All right, so we're going to start with Google Classrooms. Some of you may have heard of iLearn NYC. That's another learning platform that our teachers got some professional development learning in. But again, we're going to start with Google Classroom just because most of everybody is familiar with it.
OK， 咁咧開始咧，學校咧啲老師應該會用 Google Classroom 嗰個平台咧，其實係教學。咁咧1年班至5年班咧，就係即係好似舊年咁樣，其實咧係上網啊咁樣。如果大家啲細路仔唔記得嘅話咧，老師會幫佢哋咧係重新再溫翻咁樣。咁另外咧，教育局都有另外一個平台叫 iLearn NYC 啊咁樣。但係基本上應該老師都會先由呢個 Google Classroom 開始。
Thanks, Wendy. And Joseph, great question about homework. Yes, that has been one issue because they're in front of the screen so much. And then teachers are also most of our teachers are in school. So how could they go home and go through all the homework? They're already in front of the screen all day. So yes, for now, with this crazy environment, homework will be decreased because it's just not a reality in terms of for everybody's sanity. So yeah, homework for the most part will be decreased. And again, if you have any issues or you want what your child is needs more homework, that could be brought up to the teacher. For the most part, again, the communication is important. So homework as a whole will be decreased.
OK， 咁有個家長問到啲功課情況點樣啊？咁校長話咧，其實因為基本上咧整體嚟講咧，功課應該會減少。咁點解咧？因為老師我哋大部分老師會喺學校度教課，咁跟住喺學校教課之後咧，亦都好難再期望咧老師翻到屋企再喺網絡嗰度咧睇啲功課。咁基本上咧，其實整體嚟講啲功課係會減少。但係如果你有啲咩問題，覺得你嘅細路仔啲功課太少嘅話咧，歡迎大家可以同呢啲老師溝通。
And in terms of attendance, Margaret, that's a good question. The teachers will be going over, the protocols and things. Some of the things are still awaiting guidance, but yeah, they'll let you know about Google Classroom, when to sign in, taking attendance and things like that.
OK， 有個家長問咧，就啲出席嘅考勤點樣做法啦咁樣。咁咧到時老師會同大家聯絡咧，話俾大家聽點樣係即係呢個報道嗰個出勤啊咁樣，但係同時間我哋都要等緊咧教育局俾我哋啲指示啊咁樣。
Yeah, someone says something was at 12. That's not the start of the school day. That might be just initially these next on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They might have a check-in because the minimum is about 60 minutes of interaction with the teachers and the students. So that's why they might be starting later at a certain day.
OK， 咁有個家長提到係咪12？What do you mean 12 actually？
Yeah, someone said that they were informed that a class would start at 12. That might be a Zoom meeting that the teacher decided to have at 12 o'clock, for this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So just follow their teacher's announcement.
有啲家長話會唔會係即係12點啊或者開始咁樣，但係可能有啲老師嘅安排咁樣，只要即係大家同留意老師嗰個點樣指示啊，點樣安排。
Okay. All right. So yeah, so parents asking a very good question about what's the difference between Aparu, Class Dojo, Google Classroom. Aparu is something our school signed up for. So now the blue cards, emergency cards, there are certain forms, notices that I've been sending out, announcements. They've been all going out through Aparu to your emails.
OK， 咁咧有啲家長問到咧好幾個唔同嗰啲平台嘅分別，咁校長先解釋咩叫 Aparu 咧 ？Aparu 咧就等於我哋學校一個藍卡。咁咧就係包括咧啲細路，即係個學生一啲嘅資料係一啲咩嘅聯絡嘅資料咁樣，咁咧都係咧而家咧我哋就透過個 Opera 咧係 send 俾大家啲嘅消息。
And most teachers, they just started this account too, so they might initially start connecting with you through that, but so many families and teachers have been used to Class Dojo, which is a free service that that's a little bit different, where you can get constant updates and communications with the families. That's where Class Dojo comes into play.
OK， 咁但係咧，另外一個嘅平台叫 Class Dojo， 咁呢個係一個免費嘅平台嘅 application。咁咧其實係好多家長係中意用呢個方式咧，同啲細路同啲老師咧係聯絡，因為可以咧不斷有個聯絡嘅方法咁樣。
And then someone asked, yeah, there's another account which is from the DOE. It's called the New York City Schools account. And that is where families can access, your child's DOE record. So their attendance, report card grades from previous years, all of that information is through the New York City Schools account. And when you sign up for that, let's say the New York City Department of Education had an emergency announcement or needed to contact the school's parents, they can actually send it through their account. They can't use Aparu. That's our own private account. But New York City Schools account, you'll need that from pre-K on, because that's, the public, the record for you as a parent.
OK， 咁另外有第三個平台叫 New York City School Account， 咁呢個咧基本上咧就係 DOE 係教育局咧，其實咧係包括你個有關你細路仔資料，譬如你可以查下你細路仔個成績單啊，或者考勤嘅記錄啊咁樣。咁所以咧，我哋校長鼓勵大家係登記呢個 New York City School Account， 因為咧其實呢個亦都係教育局如果有啲任何緊急嘅情況、緊急嘅信息咧，亦都會透過呢個平台咧通知大家。
And then in terms of student work, where that's posted, assignments and things like that, initially, everyone will be using Google Classroom. Now, some might make the shift to iLearn NYC, where they can post announcements and other assignments. But for now, we're starting with Google Classroom. So just to let everyone know.
OK， 咁咧，譬如有啲你功課點樣睇到啲功課啊？點樣學習啊？咁而家暫時嚟講咧，我哋會先由呢個 Google Classroom 開始，呢個平台開始，咁遲啲會轉去 iLearn NYC， 咁係呢個問題。但係首先初期咧，我哋會仍然咧會用翻 Google Classroom。
Okay, so even with remote, the 3 days of orientation is for everyone, and then Monday should be start of quote unquote full school for all students.
OK， 咁咧就係你未來嗰3日咧就係所有包括晒所有嘅學生㗎嚇，咁然之後咧下個禮拜1咧就係正式嘅學校嘅上課開始。
Okay, and yeah, someone asked this morning about temperature checks. Not every child's temperature will be checked. For the staff right now, they have a link that we have to answer 4 questions every day where we check our own temperature at home. We're not sure if they're going to require parents to fill out such a link, to say that your child doesn't have a fever, that, they don't have any signs of it. And then they, what happens is for the staff, they have to show it on their phone. We don't know if they'll require that for parents, but we're asking families, of course, to be responsible and take if the children are coming in, take their temperature. If they're not feeling well, please stay home because it can cause a whole ruckus. If they're not feeling well, they get sent to the nurse. It just causes a whole seismic shift of things. So yeah, right now temperature checks are done at random. They have these non-contact thermometers that they're using to do temperature checks.
咁有個家長問到就點樣睇細路check 呢個細路仔嘅體温啊咁樣，咁而家暫時嚟講咧就係 random 嘅，即係隨機抽樣嘅。咁咧我哋而家咧老師咧翻嚟學校咧，老師就要回答一啲問題，然之後咧其實咧係證明冇啲咁嘅情況之後先至可以咧係入學校嘅。咁校長唔知道咧教育局會唔會都係咁樣要求呢個家長會咁做，我哋唔清楚。但係我哋校長係鼓勵啲家長咧，其實幫你細路仔嚟上學之前咧 check 佢體温啊咁樣。如果佢有唔舒服嘅話咧，其實希望佢咧係留喺屋企，因為如果佢翻咗嚟學校嘅時候咧，我哋要送佢去見個護士啊，跟住會有好多嘢要跟進啊咁樣。
And someone asked if the child can carry hand sanitizer. The classrooms will have it. They've actually been installed on the doors, outside the doors too. But if you want to carry just in case for your child hand sanitizer, you've taught them how to use it responsibly, of course, they can carry that.
OK， 有個家長問咧，細路仔可唔可以自己帶洗手液啊咁樣？咁基本上校長話咧，其實我哋已經學校有洗手液，然之後我哋將啲洗手液喺門口啦，你安裝咗啲洗手液嘅機。咁但係如果你話我都想我細路仔自己再帶啲洗手液喎，咁要家長咧係教佢哋點樣用。咁當然佢哋教佢點樣用，即係當然佢哋可以帶啊咁樣。
And yeah, that reminds me also of school supplies. It's very different. This is not a normal school year for, so if any kids are coming in, do not bring in the whole bags of school supplies, no longer. You only bring in what you need for that day, because again, we don't know if one day we can go fully remote, just like what happened last year. So don't bring in a whole bunch of supplies, only what they need. Again, the teachers will let you know what they should bring in every day, but no longer, sharing supplies and things like that as in the past. So that's where the school supplies are all very different to share, and your teachers will let you know more about that.
OK， 有個家長問到啲學校嘅文具啲情況點樣啊咁樣，咁校長話咧係今年咧係大家咧係唔需要話咧，其實好似舊年咁樣一大袋啲文具翻嚟，只係需要咧帶佢當日需要用嘅嘢，有文具翻嚟就夠啦。因為咧今年唔會再大家一齊用啊，呢個共用啊分享啲咁嘅文具。咁根據實際嘅情況咧，啲老師會聯絡大家話俾大家聽點樣安排。
Okay. And if you borrow devices from our school and you're still using it, just let us know that you're still holding on to it. We'll probably also contact families also just to check up on the devices. Okay.
OK， 如果你有借到學校嗰啲iPad 呢啲工具嘅話咧，如果你仍然需要用嘅話，你可以用啦，但係你要通知學校俾我哋知道。咁但係我哋都會聯絡啲家長啊，睇下啲 iPad 嗰啲 device 嘅情況係點樣。
And yeah, one parent, this was also this morning, asked how come some remote classes have 2 teachers? Those are usually, if they were coming into school, these are our ICT classes, where those classes have 2 teachers, 1 general ed and 1 special ed teacher. and that we have ICT in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 2 on the 5th grade.
OK， 咁有啲家長問點解啲細路仔上堂喺屋企返學嘅情況有2個老師，咁因為咧呢個2個老師應該係啲 ICT 班，因為 ICT 班咧其實係有2個老師嘅，我哋嘅2年班啊、4年班啊、5年班啊都有啲 ICT 班嘅喺度。
Okay, Charlie's asking about the desks. It's still going to vary where some classrooms had tables and they're able to use them, and some have individual desks. So that varies from classroom to classroom.
OK， 咁有家長問啲學校喺班房啲台啲情況咁樣，點樣啊？校長話咧，其實似乎個唔同嘅班別嘅安排，唔同嘅班有可能有啲台唔同啊咁樣。
Yeah, with remote learning, this was asked this morning too. In terms of workbooks and all of that, that's all done digitally now. It'll be available online. If there are any times, we have packets or something made for the kids and, we feel that they really need to have printed copies, then we would make arrangements, during days that aren't busy or after school to pick up. But right now we're starting with remote. Everything should be accessible digitally.
有啲家長問到譬如啲功課啊，或者啲 workbook 嘅情況係點樣？咁基本上咧，而家啲 workbook 咧，其實啲書本啊啲嘢咧，所有都係嗰啲網上係電子㗎啦，咁佢都喺網上都可以揾到。咁如果真係有啲package 係需要俾大家嘅話咧，到時我哋歡迎再安排再聯絡大家，或者叫大家嚟攞啊咁樣。
And someone's asking whether, they're using Google Meets or Zoom for online learning. That will, again, depend on the teacher, and also the families. But both are available. Like right now, I'm using the DOE Zoom. So there are positives and cons to both. So teachers will be exploring this with your children.
OK， 咁有啲家長問到究竟係個平台係用 Google Meet 啊，或者用 Zoom 去學習啊咁樣，咁咧就校長話咧，其實各個平台都各有佢個好處啊咁樣，咁呢老師仍然會研究，然之後老師會話俾大家聽。
Okay, and someone's asking if a child is sick. For blended students that are sick but not due to COVID, do they still need doctor's note to come back to school? Yeah. It's just that would be the regular, everyone would want to know why the child's sick, so doctor's note would be helpful. Yeah.
OK， 咁有個家長問咧，如果佢哋係個細路仔係混合式上課嗰種嘅話，如果佢係生病唔能夠嚟上課，但係唔係因為 COVID-19 嘅問題，咁需唔需要醫生紙啊？咁校長話其實最好啦，最好有醫生紙咧，俾大家知道嘅情況係點樣。
Okay, and Dylan, a great question about the COVID test. If your children are coming in, then they are subject to random testing, and there's supposed to be a form, an online form, consent form, that parents are supposed to fill out from the DOE, because if you don't agree to that, then you have to be totally remote. We haven't gotten those letters yet, but once we do, we'll be sending them out. But just to let everyone know that if you come into school, it's subject to random testing. So the parent doesn't necessarily have to be in the school, because we don't know when they're going to come to do the random testing. And this is for staff and students. So we can't wait for the parents to show up in order for them to be tested. So that's something you will have to let your child know. And from what I heard is the Q-tip. I think it's shorter for the kids, right? Because of the nasal cavity, but it's still the Q-tip right now. It's not the saliva test.
OK， 咁咧有個家長問到咧就係COVID-19 嗰啲測試係點樣啊？咁咧基本上咧，如果你嘅細路仔係選擇翻嚟學校上課嘅話咧，佢係會咧係可能咧係被隨機抽樣咧係接受呢個接受呢個咧係測試嘅。咁因為咧基本上教育局應該其實係發放一啲嘅同意書俾大家簽名啊，同意，但係大家學校仲未收到，收到之後會帶俾大家。咁所以如果你哋細路仔你翻嚟學校上課咧，如果佢哋唔同意咧，如果你唔同意佢接受呢個咧，其實 COVID-19 個測試咧，佢哋係唔可以咧，其實佢哋要選擇喺屋企上課嘅。咁當做測試嘅時候咧，個家長咧因為唔需要在場，因為我哋唔知道咧嗰個隊伍咧幾時嚟咧，就隨機抽樣呢個隨機抽樣做測試。咁另外咧就個測試嘅方法都係用 Q-tips， 就係即係整落個鼻嗰度。咁但係因為細路仔關係，可能啲 Q-tips 咧會短啲啊咁樣。
Okay, great. Someone asked about, children, when they're home, should the camera be on? We're going to definitely recommend that, because if you don't see the student, it's really hard to teach, right? But there are some circumstances that you have to shut off the camera for whatever reason, but hopefully kids can keep it on, because last year with our 5th graders, they become very camera shy, and then you're like looking at just names is really hard. So we definitely recommend that students are dressed, not necessarily the school uniform, but dress accordingly as if you would come to school. All right. And even for remote learning.
OK，咁有家長問咧，咁喺網絡上課係咪需唔需要打開嗰個機啊，打開嗰個camera 啊咁樣？咁咧其實校長話咧，其實最好咧就將佢開咗佢，因為舊年咧有個情況咧，有啲5年班啲學生咧就刪咗嗰個 camera 嗰個相機，咁睇唔到啲學生咁樣。咁另外咧就係其實校長係鼓勵咧啲細路仔咧，其實咧上堂喺屋企，就算屋企上課都好咧，其實係着呢個整齊嘅衣服咁樣。雖然唔係呢個校服，但係咧都希望我哋着整齊整齊嘅衣服啊，咁樣其實即係準備好上堂咁樣。
Okay, and someone asked about the remote classes. Will they sometimes come in live with the children in school? That depends on the teacher's comfortability and, how they're going to conduct that, but they'll let you know through the orientations, about their schedule. And yeah, some teachers will be doing that where you're checking in together. Okay, so that's a good question.
OK， 咁有個家長問咧，就係如果喺屋企上課嘅細路仔有冇機會同喺學校嘅上課嘅細路仔一齊學習啊，或者咁樣？咁咧就係校長話咧，係視乎個老師點樣安排，同埋視乎個老師咧係即係有冇咁嘅技術咧，可以咧係實安排得到。到時老師會同大家講。
And most most families did not receive emails yet. Again, that's our fault in terms of trying to sync up all the classes online through Opera. And so teachers haven't had access to that. So we're trying to finalize all the class lists before the teachers are able to communicate with the family. So by tomorrow, you should be getting those announcements. Okay, so sorry about that.
OK， 咁有啲家長話咧，其實仲未收到咧，係實一啲class list 嘅資料啊咁樣。咁校長話，因為事實咧啲組別咧班別咧係繼續不斷更新，咁其實咧係未能夠做到樣嘢。咁咧，但係應該聽日咧，大家家長咧會應該收到咧 Opera 商出嚟嘅資料咁樣。
Okay, and uniforms, and I said I would encourage it just because then I get into the mode. Even during March to June, I always put on my school uniform. But again, not required. But again, if the child wants to do it and you feel like that'll get them excited for school, I would wear the uniform, especially if you have it at home. Why not?
咁咧，其實咧校長講到話咧，啲細路仔即係如果屋企上課啲細路仔，其實唔係需要着校服，咁但係如果佢哋想着校服啊，咁其實都係一件好事，因為你可以咧係讓佢哋又準備好似有上課嗰個心情啊咁樣。
And Diana's asking about attendance, whether remote or in person, it still counts like daily attendance. So that won't change in terms of attendance.
OK， 咁有個家長問到咧，就係嗰個考勤出勤嗰個記錄點樣啊？咁樣校長話咧，其實無論你喺屋企上課好咧，或者喺翻嚟學上課好咧，每日都會咧，我哋都會登記嗰個出席。
And in terms of teaching, again, blended, full remote at different times. So again, that depends on the teacher's schedule. And sometimes they'll be live streaming, but sometimes it's be watching videos together, sometimes reading together. So there are different ways of doing that. And again, we're thanking you for your patience with that.
OK， 咁有啲家長問到係都係嗰個學習嘅情況。咁其實咧，究竟個老師點樣安排啊？幾時做 live streaming 啊？幾時即係網絡教學啦？咁要即係到時老師睇下老師點樣安排。
Okay. Let me just share my screen. This was shared on the morning, but I'll just go over it quickly. Let me just see if I can share my desktop. Let me pull it up first. Okay, this was created by Ms. Thomas, who's awesome at organizing our whole safety committee. So so this is a map of our school. So I want to quickly go over that for the parents who are coming in. For door B, again, no one's coming through the main entrance. That's all right of the school because we want to leave that open. So there's one other door on Baxter Street that's called door B, and that will be for 2nd and 3rd grade. They don't open to 8:25, so don't come to school super early because it basically is not going to be open because we have to wait for the teachers to be in the classrooms. Okay.
OK，咁你大家睇到咧就呢個咧係學校嗰個咧呢個圖表，咁俾大家睇到咧就係咧點樣，即係細路仔要翻嚟學校上課咧係點喺邊度地方出入，咁咧其實個大門咧其實係唔會出入嘅，即係閂咗嘅。咁咧你睇到其中有一個咧係 B 出口，即係 B 嗰個地方，咁咧呢個係 Baxter 街嗰頭，咁咧其實俾2年班同埋3年班嘅學生，咁咧記住咧就係我哋係8:25咧就會開門，咁所以咧細路仔咧係唔需要太早到嘅。
Okay, and yeah, dismissal, as you can see, we'll share this with the families, is grade 2, 150, and grade 3, about 155.
咁咧放學嘅時間咧，2年班應該1:50， 3年班1:55。咁校長遲啲會再將啲消息咧，再啲資料再同大家再發放俾大家。
And then grades 4 and 5, this is on Hester Street. There's a door A here. Again, thanks, Ms. Thomas, for this. Again, 8:25 open, so the kids will go right up to their classrooms. And then the breakfast will be on their floor. It's a grab and go, cold lunch and cold breakfast. And then dismissal 150, 155. Grade 4, 150, grade 5, 155.
OK， 咁咧4年班同5年班嗰啲學生咧，我就喺A 嗰個咧集合嘅地方，咁就係 Hester 街嗰個地點嚟㗎。咁咧就係又係8:25咧，其實上課集合。咁佢哋咧可以呢4年班、5年班嘅細路仔可以直接咧係上班房。咁放學嘅時間表，放學嘅時間咧就4年班咧係1:50， 5年班咧係1:55。
And then Hester Street has these gates, and again, we'll open them at 8:25 for the first grade, 8:40 for kindergarten, and 8:50 for pre-K. And then the teachers, because they're younger, will come and bring them to their classrooms.
OK， 咁咧就係1年班咧就係8:25，咁咧個 kindergarten 咧幼稚園就8:40， PK 咧就8:50。
Right, and then dismissals, you can see, again, we're staggering to keep everyone safe, and also, so we can stagger it. So pre-K, again, earliest dismissal 1:30, grade kindergarten 1:45, and grade 1 1:55.
OK， 咁放學嘅時間咧就 PK 嘅細路仔就1:30， kindergarten 咧嘅細路仔就1:45， 1年班嘅細路仔咧就1:55。
Okay, and so so that's the screen share of that. And one other thing that we will be showing, let me just we'll be sending families again so that you are clear on what days to come in. So let me just share my screen one more time as I pull that up. Okay, so I'm going to share that with you.
大家校長咧就同大家分享嗰個熒光幕咧，就俾大家睇到你個細路仔嗰個幾時翻嚟上課咁樣。
Okay. So here I have a document that, again, we're going to share with the families on a PDF. So you can see this will tell you, if you're cohort A, what days you come in, cohort B, cohort C, and then individually. So then you won't get confused at all. You would just print out your cohort so you know exactly which days you would come in. All right. So this is B and this is C. So this will tell you exactly when you come to school. Okay.
OK， 咁咧呢個你睇到咧唔同嘅顏色係代到唔同嘅組別，咁你就睇到嗰個咧係知道咧係幾時咧要翻學。
And then there are national holidays that that's a little bit different from March to June, where like Yom Kippur on the 28th, if there's no school for cohort A, there's no school at home also. The teachers are off also. So like Yom Kippur, Columbus Day, Election Day, everyone is learning at home. So, different holidays have different. Veterans Day, there's no school for anyone. So we'll let you know of these through Aparu.
OK， 另外咧就記住咧，但係有啲學校嘅假期咧，其實咧就所有學生都唔使翻學嘅，唔使上堂嘅。譬如9月28號咧係 Young Cooper 嘅日放假，跟住有 Columbus 10月有 Columbus Day 咁樣。而 Election Day 咧就選舉日咧，應該就所有學生喺屋企上課咁樣。呢啲資料咧，遲啲校長會同大家分享。
And these calendars are also tentative because, again, the DOE might change things and let us know. So when we put this, just let you know that things could change possibly. All right.
另外咧就提醒大家咧，其實呢啲都係一啲暫時性嘅情況，因為咧好多時可能教育局都會有任何嘅改變咧，我哋又會跟住要做出呢啲變動。
Okay, so I realize it's 8:30. I'll keep going through questions, but again, I understand. You can watch the recording later, an hour in. This morning, we didn't have quite as many questions, but again, I see that Ms. Semperon and Ms. Thomas are also answering them as we're going along. With the after schools, we haven't had any approvals yet, and if there is, CPC is the only one who's in still talks with the DOE. It will probably most definitely operate at a smaller scale. So that's the update with after schools, but no one else is using the building after school.
OK，咁課後班咧，暫時我哋仲未知道咧係有批准咗邊個咧邊個機構舉辦。而家唯一咧同呢個教育局傾偈商量嘅咧就係 CPC 咁樣。但係如果就算 CPC 批准咗舉辦個 after school 咧，課後班咧都應該係一個好小型嘅個課後班。
Okay, and Owen, a great question. These things are still changing as we speak in terms of, what's going to be happening, the blended, the remote. Some of the activities will be asynchronous, where the children are accessing it without the teacher live, and then remote, sometimes it's live. So it's a mixture of this live teaching and then given assignments through Google Classroom or iLearn NYC.
咁咧有啲家長都問咧，係問翻嗰個教學嗰個情況咁樣。咁基本上咧就係有唔同嘅組合唔同嘅方法。咁可能有啲係老師係即場教學，亦都有啲情況咧就係老師咧就會擺一啲資料喺個網上嗰度咧，啲學生咧入去嗰度咧睇嗰啲資料咁樣。
And in terms of grading, I know that has 5th grade, 4th grade, everything is still up in the air in terms of middle school. Those things, as the meetings come on Zoom, whatever they are, we will relay them out to the families.
OK， 咁咧即係譬如5年班有啲情況咁樣咧，校長話咧，我老師會透過 Zoom 將俾大家知道咁樣。
Okay. So again, you'll get updates from the teachers. Hopefully by tomorrow, everyone will find out things that are happening Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Again, Wednesday, 8:30, we'll have a premiere video for everyone. And then teachers will tell you about the other days.
OK， 咁咧就未來我嘅星期三、星期四、星期五咧就會有啲其實資料咧發放俾大家。咁咧星期三咧8點半咧，我哋會有啲administration 啦，我哋學校就會有啲個 video 咧俾大家睇到有關咧新學年嘅開始咁樣。
Okay, and Jennifer, from the calendar, you can see that for the 21st is only A.
OK， 咁咧就係你睇到嗰個返學咧就係9月20號咧就係第一日返學咧，應該就係cohort A 第 A 組咧返學。
Alisa, in terms of temperature checks, we'll do as many as we can, but again, it's not a mandate. So you're asking, why can't we just do temperature checks for every child? That's something that's not mandated. And again, we trust the families also to take the temperatures at home. So if the child's not feeling well, they shouldn't be coming to school. But yeah, that's a good question. But it's supposed to be random. So that's about the temperature checks. Okay.
有個家長問點解唔可以咧？其實測晒所有咧細路仔嘅體温啊，咁但係校長話咧，其實咧係因為唔係規定一定所有細路仔都要 check 嘅。咁當然咧，其實我哋希望咧，其實或者家長咧可以自己咧幫細路仔其實 check 佢體温啊咁樣。
Okay, and Jay, so a great question about disclosing. If there's a positive case, the people in that cohort would be told. Of course, we would not give out the names, whether it's staff or students, that's privacy. But again, we would defer to the DOE. They would give us further directions. If it's just one case in one classroom, then that classroom gets quarantined. And then we would wait further directions. If it's more than one case in the school, I believe they close the whole school. So this is why Aparu and other things are so important, where the whole school is closed for at least 24 to 48 hours. And then they have to investigate to see, when it will reopen. So yeah, these kind of things we pray it doesn't happen. But again, to be ready, these are the protocols we will follow.
OK， 咁咧就我哋會跟住咧學校教育局嗰個指示咧，就話如果譬如學校咧發現到有啲COVID 嘅 case 嘅話，如果一個班入邊有一個 case 咧，可能成個班都要咧，其實係隔離。咁樣如果係多過一個 case 嘅話咧，就整個學校都要隔離。然之後咧直到個學校直到教育局咧去調查。然之後咧，但係我哋會根據教育局嗰個指示去做呢樣嘢。
EKJ, well, yeah, it's going to be hard on everyone financially. So again, thanks to our Parents Association who has been so generous through the years, and they're going to provide for the arts programs remotely too. But yeah, we always have on our website ways to donate so that the money, of course, always goes back to the kids. All right, thank you for that.
我哋校長其實好感激咧，其實我哋嘅 PTA 咧，其實係一直幫手啊啲籌款啊咁樣，咁關 art 嘅 program 啊咁樣。
And Rosalind, good question. If your child is not sick but doesn't attend school for the blended, they would be marked absent because whether they're sick or not, if they don't come to school and you're blended and you're supposed to be in school, then you would be marked absent. Some people are asking, oh, if they stay at home and they can still learn, can they still be marked not absent? I think that complicates things. So we're going to follow the DOE policy. But from our initial understanding, if they're supposed to be in school but they're not in school, then they would be marked absent.
咁有家長問就係如果佢 blend 即係混合式嘅，如果佢唔係病但係唔翻嚟學咁樣個出勤點樣計咧？咁就校長話，如果佢應該係要翻學嘅，但係如果佢冇翻學嘅話咧，咁我哋係會就算佢話我留喺屋企屋企上課啦，其實唔係咁樣嘅。即係如果佢應該翻學如果唔翻學嘅話咧，我哋都會 mark 佢咧，其實係缺席㗎。
Oh, and we have some new parents at school. Yeah, school uniform is usually a navy blue top. It doesn't have to have the school logo on it. So it's usually a navy blue top. In the past, we used white polos, but it got too messy. So yeah, just a navy blue top and jeans or khaki pants is fine. So that's the traditional uniform Monday through Thursday. And then Friday was always wear whatever, is acceptable. But so that was our loose uniform policy, all right, at school.
Okay. 有家長問到咧，就係新嘅家長啦，問到啲校服係點樣咁？基本上咧，校長話咧，其實基本上我哋就係 navy blue 咧，其實湖水藍色嘅上衣啊咁樣，咁就 OK 噶啦。咁通常如果喺學校嘅話咧，我哋通常應該係就星期一至星期四咧就着校服啊咁樣，星期五就唔需要咁樣。
Yeah, Elaine, great question about the hard copies. Some of the things we don't have the hard copies is subscription based, so it'll be digital. But in terms of math and stuff, they have editable PDFs so that you don't have to print it out per se. But yeah, I know that's going to be a challenge also getting hard copies. Again, if if there is a need to print out copies, then we can do that at the school level, and then parents could come pick it up. So again, as the school year goes on and we figure those things out, we'll definitely let the families know.
OK， 咁有啲家長仍然都係關心咧，譬如印出嚟嗰啲資料啊，嗰啲係作業係點樣？咁基本上咧就係校長話咧好多嘢都係網上噶啦。但係如果真係有需要嘅話咧，我哋都即係留意，如果真係有需要咧，我哋會安排。
All right, Simon, I wish I could read that and I can't copy and paste to translate that question or statement, but Simon wrote something in Chinese, so I apologize, I can't. I wish I could read that. Okay. All right, switching from remote to back in school, that'll happen around November, we heard, is when parents could opt back in to school. And then again, that would cause a whole shift in the cohorts. And that's why we kept it at 3 cohorts. So if we need to bring people in, we can plug them in, but that will be another monstrous Herculean task. So thank you for that question. Okay.
咁有啲家長問到咧，就如果幾時又可以轉由屋企上課轉翻學上課？咁基本上就係11月可以進行。咁就係所以點解我哋要有3個組別嘅 cohort 咧？就因為咧到時如果有學生要轉動翻嚟學校上課嘅時候，我哋可以咧就擺佢入去唔同嘅組別。
And someone asked about school uniforms. If it's purchased and then our PA is in school, because right now is very limited on people coming into the school building, we will definitely let you know if the PA is selling uniforms outside of the school and you want to still buy it, then we'll talk to the PA about that. But that's a great question.
OK， 有個家長問到點樣買校服嘅情況，咁因為而家比較少人喺學校，咁我哋嘅家長會啲人咧其實冇喺學校，咁如果假如我哋知道啲家長會啲人咧會啲家長咧會喺學校門口買呢個制服嘅話咧，我哋會通知大家。
Okay, and Damien, thanks. He's one of our PA board members. Yeah, he mentioned that they might have the outside table, and yeah, so we'll definitely give out announcements about that. Thanks.
好嘅，我哋家長會其中一個成員話咧，佢哋會考慮咧，會喺學校門口咧喺出邊咧係賣呢個制服，但係到時有咩確實嘅資料會通知大家。
Yeah, Maggie, for the morning, if you have siblings, different grades, yeah, unfortunately there is that wait time, and we're so sorry about that. But we did that for safety in terms of students coming in. So yeah, there is that lag time if you have a younger and older child.
OK，咁咧有個家長問咧就係、咁我如果有個細路仔，佢有兩個細路仔，一個細啲，一個大啲，咁佢哋返學嘅時間有唔一樣，咁變咗佢哋要等啊。咁其實係因為係校長話係會有咁嘅情況出現，因為係考慮到安全問題。
And Elaine, thanks for that. Yeah, if you have library books at home and you want to drop them off at school, that's welcome to bring any materials that belong to the school back to school. So thank you for that. And someone asked about technology. If you're still using it, just let the school know. We might contact you about, what's the latest on the device, but thank you for those questions.
OK，咁有個家長話佢想還翻啲書俾學校啊，咁校長話歡迎大家可以將啲書帶翻嚟學校。咁有個家長問到啲 technology 嘅問題，咁如果你哋嘅細路仔仍然需要嗰個 iPad 或者嗰個用工具嘅話咧，係希望俾大學校知道。
All right, so we're getting through. Jen and Bina, let me know if there's any questions that I'm not getting to, but really thanking you all for, all your great questions. Anything we can do for you, we love the kids. That's the bottom line. We're doing all that we can. Again, thanking you because there's constant changes. So what I say now could be different tomorrow. And I thank you for not getting mad at me, or sometimes you do get mad at me. It's okay too. You can take it out on us, but yeah, it's a lot to digest right now. It's a lot coming in. So any way we can help and support, we are here for you 24/7 now because Miss Sempron's in Thailand. So we are here if you need anything. All right.
校長好多謝大家咧提出咁好嘅咁寶貴嘅問題，咁但係其實因為咧校長俾大家知道，其實我哋係好愛我哋嘅學生，咁咧其實咧亦都好感激大家咧，其實用體諒我哋，因為其實係不斷咧，其實事實上有好多嘅不斷嘅改變啊咁樣，咁同埋咧就我哋其實而家另外因為 Mr. Fong 咧喺泰國嘅關係咧，變咗我哋可以咧24小時咧，同埋一個禮拜7日可以咧同服務大家家長。
And again, thank you for your patience. Again, our teachers, just like our families, we're learning as we're going, right? We've never done this before. Remote, we had never done. And now it's a combination of both. So again, if there's anything we can do, just let us know. But just, knowing we're going to start off a little slower than usual in terms of academics because we need to build up relationships and trust. And, so in the beginning, we've been charged with doing more social emotional learning, which is just as important because if your child is not happy or not feeling safe, how can they learn? And if you just keep shoving more and more things at them, it's going to be impossible for them. So we're trying to, do more relationship building in the beginning and different ways of interacting. So again, thanking you. Whatever we can do, any ideas, just keep them coming, okay?
OK，咁校長再次多謝家長嘅耐性啦，咁樣，因為咧其實咧我哋由即係網上學習，其實網上學習係好新嘅，到而家咧又要網上學習，又要翻嚟學習，咁其實咧係一個好特別嘅好新嘅情況。咁我哋咧啱我哋喺學期開始嘅時候咧，我哋會開始嘅時候咧會比較咧其實注重呢個咧係情緒方面嗰個我方面嘅問題，即係俾嗰個老師同埋細路仔咧建立個關係。因為如果冇一個情緒嗰個良好健康嘅情緒嘅話咧，其實佢哋係未必咧細路仔係未必可以好好地學習。
Yeah, and it's okay to say you're sorry because I have to apologize to my wife now because I've been on Zoom like all day. And then from 5:45 till now, I asked them not to make too much noise so I could, focus on the parents. So I know at home, families, you're torn too. Sometimes you have your work at home and yet you have to still do something with your child. And it's so hard. This is really, really hard for all of us. And I am here with you. I have to now make up to my children and everything, but yeah, just knowing we're all human. Thanking you for accepting that. And if you have ideas too, just keep them coming. All right. So thank you all. Have a good night. And yeah, take good care. Be safe. Oh, thank you for the sign. And yeah, whatever we can do. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
OK，咁多謝大家。咁咧，其實大家晚安。
Take good care. All right. Be safe.
OK，拜拜。
Tell your kids we love them.
OK， 話俾你嘅細路仔聽，我哋學校我哋係好愛你哋嘅細路仔嘅，好愛你嘅學生嘅。
All right, so we're gonna end. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Wendy. Oh, so much
Okay.
translating. Thanks, Jenna and Dina,
Okay.
and all the
Okay.
parents. Thank you. All right. Have a good night.
Good night. Bye bye.
Okay, I'm gonna end and stop the recording now.
Bye, Mr. Pong.
Oh, thank you. That was great. Who is that?
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Logan.
Oh, thank you, Logan. Have a good night.
Okay.
All right, we recorded that, so that's great. Okay, now I'm gonna stop it. All right.